Assalamu alaikum, everybody. May Allah bestow many peace, blessings, prosperity, health, wealth, and success upon all of your past and your loved ones, and many more. This video is a little difficult for me to make. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty difficult for me to make. I've sat here in front of the camera just wondering how do I start this video. The reason I'm making this video, it's a way for me to process what I'm going to talk about. I've been making YouTube videos since I was 12. I started with a Mario Kart channel and started vlogging. And now I have more of a spiritual channel. And I know it's helped a lot of other people on their journey and their path and whatever Sufi life stages are in. I wouldn't say I'm a Sufi, I'm more of a free agent Sufi. Don't get it twisted. I don't belong to a tariqa. I don't have a sheikh. I'm a free agent Sufi. So, a couple of days ago, I found out that my grandfather passed away. And this wasn't something, it was shocking to me, but at the same time, it was not shocking to me because so this would be about 9 years ago. He had a heart attack and he came back from that. And I had my birthday August 16th. I'm a Leo. We're going to celebrate it later this week. He passed away like 3 days ago. And something in my intuition just told me, you know what, you should see him Monday. I didn't know why, but I just felt pulled to see him Monday instead of later in the week. Really glad I did. It comforts me to know that, you know, he said I was on the right track and that he went out saying good things to me and that we had a good relationship. It felt like he tried to hug me a little tighter as he knew it was his time. From what my step grandmother was saying is that he did kind of know. Yeah, it's really tough. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty tough for me because this was somebody that I could confide in and know that my secrets are safe with him, and he was very humble. And one of the biggest things in life he taught me is that nobody can save you but yourself, you know. I think one of the last things he said to me, it's been really hard to recall our conversations on Monday. It's been really hard to recall, but you know, I remember the past couple of times I've seen him, he said, you know, you can tell me anything, you know, like I'm here for you. And that really comforts me. You know, I know he is here for me in spirit, but I know he's watching over me, sending everybody he loves love and healing. But it's hard because, you know, I'm not going to be able to see him in the physical. I'm not going to be able to get advice. You know, he helped me out a lot. You know, he really did. He just helped me out so much in life. And I know not a lot of people have grandparents. Maybe you've had rough relationships with your grandparents, maybe political division or religious. I know a lot of people on my channel are spiritual or have an alternative spiritual path, and maybe you've had a rough relationship with your grandparent. My grandfather, I don't know if he knows I'm a Sufi, but he knows my sexuality. He knew my sexuality. He knew that I deconstructed from Christianity and that I meditate and stuff, but we didn't really get to talk about Sufism and this alternative spiritual life path. It's really hard, you know. I think it would have been harder to have that conversation this month. It would have been harder to have that conversation, you know. But the last time we did see each other, I remember he was more goofy than usual, and that's part of the reason, because he passed from a heart attack, and he was saying his heart was bothering him on Monday, and I kind of passed it off like it wasn't much, because I know he has like a lot of health conditions, and he was like, yeah, I have heartburn or whatever, because we did eat like a lot of food. We ate a lot of food. And you know, I asked him, are you okay? Do you need a rest? And he was like, no, I'm good. So, you know, he was driving and everything. It's really hard, you know. When I first found out, I just felt angry, but I was paralyzed at the same time, you know. Like, I wasn't shocked because he was older, and I was expecting this. I feel like Spirit prepared me for this, you know. Really feel like that, because I already knew he was declining, but his personality was still there, you know, which makes it hard, you know. I know a lot of people, when their grandparents are starting to fade into the next life, they may see their personality going first, you know. It might become very sad, but it's different, because my grandfather, he's very chipper, you know. Even though I don't know this for sure, but even though I believe he knew his time was coming, like my step grandmother was saying, he really, let me skip this ad real quick. He really did his best to make sure everybody was prepared, and I hope he at least was happy when he went to the next life, because he really did he was really trying to be as goofy as he could, and very happy with me on Monday, and that makes me happy. And he gave me a hug tighter than usual on Monday, but like I said, it's a hard video for me to make, because, you know, like he was really one of my best friends. You know, I don't have a lot of friends. I have like I have two friends, like one friend in Indiana that I hang out with, and I have another friend, obviously, you know, St. Helios, the guy that I went to Pennsylvania with. And I'm grateful I have such a good support system. A lot of people have like 5-10 friends, and they don't have those people that go to them when they're in times of need. Like, I'm grateful I have two very loyal friends, you know. And it is very difficult. I wouldn't say I'm coping the best. You know, I had my slip up with alcohol recently, which I shared with you guys. I believe I shared it with you guys. I don't know for sure. I have to check my YouTube channel, but I had my slip up with that. I'm a week clean, I believe, but I'm still very much California sober, if you know what that means. And I was relying on cannabis a lot yesterday, I'm not gonna lie. I greened out, not proud of it, but maybe I couldn't handle the emotions when I woke up, and so that needed to happen. But, you know, I'm still processing it, and I know that making this video helps me. It might help you guys if you're going through something similar, but it helps me because I like to alchemize art. You know, I'm an artist. When I have pain, I alchemize it, and this is one of my outlets to alchemize my pain into. So much I wish I could say about him as a person, but I want to keep my family life private, you know. I'm just sharing universal things. I don't know, there's not much I can say in this video about spirituality. I want to view this as a time to get closer to the divine. It's going to be hard because, you know, I'm supposed to, well, I was going to do a travel around, I was going to travel, but I'm taking a pause on that to slow down on work, because I was going to grind on work this month, but I'm slowing down a little bit. This isn't the first death I've had. I had a friend that passed away 3 years ago. He was a childhood friend. I believe it was 3 or 4 years ago, something like that. And that wrecked my world, you know, but I feel like because of that, I'm able to handle things like this better, you know, and I have a healthy outlook. I'd like to think that, like I said, I don't really know what happens when we die, because, you know, I can't remember if I died, you know, reincarnation or whatever, but I do believe, whatever you believe, I do believe that our loved ones are watching over us. I do genuinely believe that our loved ones send us love and healing, and they're around us, you know. That really comforts me to know that, you know, that they're in a place where they can watch us, and, you know, it's our divine opportunity to carry out their legacy. You know, somebody at my Unitarian church said something like, your legacy is still here until the last person in your bloodline or whatever says your name, you know? The stories we tell about our loved ones, the memories, keep them alive on the earth. And it's not until that last memory or that last word was spoken that they're still here with us, you know. It's obviously we can't give them hugs or anything, which is hard, but, you know, yeah. So I'm gonna do my best to meditate, still grow closer to the divine, you know, make art like this. But I don't know if I'm gonna be making a lot of YouTube videos. I don't know if I'm gonna need to rest. Yeah, so I hope everybody was able to somewhat resonate with this, or if you're going through something similar, let me know in the comments. I'm curious to know. Love you guys.